Thanks for tuning in to Arirang News. I'm Devin Whiting in Seoul. We begin with the latest developments in the scandal that's shaken Korea's political landscape. Choi Soon-sil, a longtime confidant of President Park Geun-hye, who faces multiple abuse of power allegations, appeared for questioning by prosecutors this afternoon. Lee Min-young has our top story.
Choi Soon-sil, a confidant of President Park Geun-hye and the woman at the center of a growing abuse of power scandal, appeared at the Seoul Central District Prosecutor's office for questioning on Monday afternoon. This is Choi's first public appearance after the allegations against her bubbled to the surface last week. Choi, her face shielded under a dark hat and a thick scarf, was escorted through a huge crowd of reporters as she made her way into the prosecutor's office, and she did not take any questions. But before getting on the lift, she reportedly pleaded for mercy and said she was truly sorry. Choi's attorney held a press conference at around 4 p.m. but refused to give any clear answers regarding the charges against her.
I am here to represent her throughout the investigation, and I will fully cooperate with prosecutors.
Lee added that Choi's daughter, Chung Yura, who was with Choi in Germany, will not be returning to Korea for a while. Choi returned to Korea on Sunday at 7:30 a.m. from London after nearly 2 months in Germany. Choi, who did not have an official government position, is suspected of having used her ties to the president to interfere in state affairs and accessing classified presidential office documents. Prosecutors will also grill Choi on the allegations that she used her connections to the president to solicit and embezzle a massive amount of corporate donations for 2 government-linked foundations. Choi will also likely face questions about the allegations that she used her connections to garner preferential treatment for her daughter when she was admitted to Ewha Women's University. Choi's return came a day after prosecutors raided the homes of presidential aides suspected of being involved in the scandal. The prosecutor's office said Monday that it is expanding the special investigative team working on the case as the investigation is widening at a rapid pace. Roughly 20 more prosecutors will be added to the team, bringing the number of investigators to about 100. Lee Min-young, Arirang News.
Meanwhile, a meeting called by parliamentary leaders this afternoon to address the scandal broke down. The floor leader of the ruling party walked out in frustration as the opposition continued to press for an independent investigation. Our Ji Myung-gil has more.
The floor leaders of the ruling Saenuri party walked out on talks between the assembly speaker and the floor leaders of the 3 political parties that were arranged to address the scandal surrounding Choi Soon-sil, the president's longtime friend. Before leaving, floor leader Chung Jin-seok blurted out a few words of accusation against the opposition.
Why is the opposition bloc so uncooperative when our party has accepted all of your proposals? What are your political motives? Are you trying to impeach the president or make her resign? I can't stand it anymore.
Chung also said his party is more than willing to form a nonpartisan cabinet with candidates named by both the ruling and opposition parties, a proposal the party had made over the weekend. The party has been upended by the scandal. The roughly 50 lawmakers who belong to its non-pro-Park wing have called on the party leadership to resign. They have refused. On the other side of the aisle, the main opposition Democratic Party of Korea reiterated its demand that an independent counsel be appointed for the case.
We need to first appoint an independent counsel through the introduction of a special bill. We must not allow the ruling party to get away from the scandal by just establishing a neutral cabinet.
The public would be outraged if the presidential office were trying to cover up the scandal through the formation of a neutral cabinet.
The opposition bloc also rejected a ruling party proposal to use an existing special prosecution system for the investigation into the case. Under that system, the president chooses the special prosecutor in charge of the investigation, and the investigation period is 90 days at maximum. The floor leaders of the 3 opposition parties agreed to meet on Tuesday to discuss their next steps and ways to stabilize state affairs. Ji Myung-gil, Arirang News.
In other news, South Korea's defense ministry announced on Monday that Seoul and Tokyo are set to hold working-level talks on Tuesday in Japan on an intelligence sharing deal. Last week, the two sides agreed to resume negotiations over the proposed General Security of Military Information Agreement aimed at better countering North Korea's nuclear and missile threats. Under the prospective agreement, the two allies would be able to share intelligence on those threats without having to receive it from the U.S., as under the current trilateral information sharing arrangement. Formal negotiations on the bilateral agreement began in 2012, but came to a halt due to protests from the Korean public. The government's rolled out plans to help Korea's cash-strapped shipbuilding and shipping sectors. Finance Minister Yoo Il-ho said Monday that the government will help local shipbuilders cope with falling global demand by obtaining orders of 250 or more vessels by the end of 2020. That translates into a benefit worth some $9.5 billion US. The government's also vowed to provide financial support worth $5.6 billion to help shipping companies turn their focus to high value-added services and enhance efficiency. Also, it plans to support regions heavily reliant on shipyards with funds worth $1.4 billion by next year. The measures follow the recent collapse of Hanjin Shipping, which applied for court receivership in late August. And that's all for this hour. Thanks for watching. More to come on News Center at 10 p.m. Korea time.